Welcome back, Jordy. Thank you so much for reserving a room for us at this crazy hotel.
Oh, no problem. It only costs me, like, what, $20? Maybe more?
The heck
Who does give him a... Oh.
Did the king send you?
The heck?
Oh!
Oh,
It's a-
hello?
Goofy's like, a ghost! Not yet, Goofy.
A little too soon for that, Goofy. I mean, granted, hey,
We have no idea.
look at it this way. At least she's alive in this universe.
Yeah.
That is true. And oh, hey, Kyrie.
You okay?
You're just here.
I guess.
Just here.
Those creatures that attacked you are after the Keyblade.
How do you know?
But it's your heart they really want. Because you wield the Keyblade.
How do you know about the things you want there for?
Kyrie? Kyrie? Who are you talking about? I'm the great ninja Yuffie.
The heck did the voice... Oh, did you just go through puberty? Oh.
Oh,
I think you might have overdone it, Squall.
You cocked him unconscious and stupid.
That's Leon.
No, it's Squall.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you'll
dude.
always be a
Just-
Squall to us, you big emo.
Yeah.
You have to
We had
take
to
your
get it
lumps.
away from you to shake off
I'm
those
curious, like, is there ever,
Turns
like,
out,
an
that's
in-universe
what I
explanation as to why he insists on being called Leon?
Well, there's two things. One, his full name is Squall Leonard, so I assumed for the sake of this continuity, they wanted to kind of emphasize that. And secondly, I'm partially convinced that was mostly a Disney executive decision because, you know, Squall sounds stupid.
Well,
That's fair.
But if you want to, you know, be all cool and, you know, have an in-canon universe for what's happening, maybe it's because,
Okay.
maybe, like, because they
You
are
know
part
there
of
are
some
many
rebel,
other
like,
worlds out
some
there
rebellion,
besides your
maybe
castle
he
in this
uses it
town,
as a
right?
pseudonym.
Actually,
Maybe.
I
Being
think actually, now that I
traced.
think about it, I should probably rephrase what I said. It's more so a matter that the Disney executive thinks it sounds stupid because, you know, Leon sounds more like
course.
a typical name you'd hear from a Disney Channel
When the Huts
original
came,
series.
Everything
Of
changed.
course.
And to be fair,
Yeah.
I'd imagine at least a good chunk of the characters that, you know,
The ones who attacked you. You remember?
speak their roles in this game
Those
are
were
mostly
the
from the
hearts.
Disney Channel.
The darkness
Yeah.
in people's
Oh,
hearts.
and they're having a little bit of
That's
lore
it.
here, but
and there is darkness.
it's usually pretty loose. And I mean, for those who are
Have you heard of someone
for
named
those who are
Ransom?
just new to all this stuff, get used to it. This is Kingdom Hearts writing, as we
Yeah.
talked about in the past, where
He was
it's
studying
a
the
simple
hearts.
story, but they usually expound upon
He
it in
recorded all of
really
his
convoluted
findings in a very
conversations.
detailed
In
Yeah.
other words, it's literally pretentious writing.
Can we see it?
Honestly,
His
to a
pages
T,
are
pretentious
scattered
writing for
everywhere.
kids. But to simplify
Too
it
many
down
worlds.
nice and neat for this game,
Ooh,
there was a guy
good
named
way to
Ansem
go.
who
To
was
find
studying the dark, kind of like
Yes. Those were
Gaul
my thoughts
from Jack and
exactly.
Daxter 1. Absolutely
gotta
zero
find
other
him
parallels between the two. And
Oh, wait.
camera. Thank you. He's the shorty.
That's right.
So yeah, we need to find these old reports that Ansem used to have, because if we can maybe learn about how he studied the Heartless, maybe we can then find a way to stop him. That's basically our current
That's why they'll
goal.
keep coming after you, no matter what.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
Give it up.
well, yeah, you didn't ask for this, but you're stuck here anyway, so you better,
So,
like
tough
Logan
luck.
said, take your
How did all this
lumps.
happen? I
Yeah,
remember
and
you
believe
were
you me, later games of the series do sort of connect the dots why Sora end up being
What happened to
one
my
of the
home?
chosen with the
My
Keyblade, and
island?
it's like,
Riku!
you know, at first it was just, you know,
You know
a stroke of
what?
good luck. Now there's just like a whole bunch of other lines to attach, and it just becomes so fucking brain scattered.
Which I was never like entirely a big fan of that idea, because like sometimes I like the idea of, like, you know, an unlikely hero has to step up, but then it's like it's always about fate. That's why Clank can't just be a normal robot anymore, or why Ratchet can't just be a normal mechanic.
Eh,
So, in other words, the future trilogy has retroactively bad writing.
It retroactively answered questions that didn't necessarily had to be questions. Anyway, so so basically now only now do we realize that our giant key can be used as a key to open locked things, and by talking to Leon we can you know, move this plot along, because this is basically the game saying, okay, tutorial's done, Yuffie and Lee are gonna go meet up with Aerith, and now we're gonna get to some true battles proper.
Well,
Ooh.
that didn't last.
Nope.
Ouch!
What's going on?
Sora, let's go.
Oh, and also this game is always going to be this game's always going to be a little what's the word? Donald, you all right?
You okay, Donald?
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay.
But it's like they're always going to be a little inconsistent about it, where it's like they say the Keyblade's the only thing that can kill a Heartless, but like other people can totally use their weapons just as easily, and they can like get rid of Heartless that way.
Gameplay to story segregation, as far as I'm aware.
Also, I
Yeah.
figured they probably mean that like the Keyblade's the only thing that can like permanently get rid of a Heartless.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
Yes.
thing. Like, maybe they can hold them off, or at least, you know, just, like, kill them temporarily, but then they, like, respawn if you don't use the Keyblade.
A part of me also
I
gets
guess-
a part of me also gets the impression it's also a matter of, well, I mean, Keyblade, Gunblade, what have you. I mean, all that can still kill them, but at the end of the day, until, you know, letting these monsters in is taken care of, they'll still keep spawning.
I see what you're saying. So we are gonna rush right to the end of this, which is by going into the 3rd district again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boys.
Gosh, are these the Heartless guys?
Good luck
Well,
with
that
that.
about
Never mind.
yeah, that about went as well as I thought
Good.
it would. Oh, and I guess there's one other thing I can talk about the final mix. What they brought to the table is it did introduce a couple new secret bosses, and it also recolored a lot of enemies. Like, I guess just there is no real purpose to it besides maybe just to help further distinguish it from normal gameplay. But so yeah, like typically these soldiers are supposed to be like, you know, slightly more blue and purple in the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they're
Little things
more
like that.
decayed
And
in
red.
this color
I guess
scheme.
so. Oh yeah.
I'm not entirely against it, though I also get the impression that this would make more sense if you were playing, like, a hard mode as opposed to, like, you know, even though this is a final mix, like, play just the regular normal setting or what have you. Anyway, time for our boss.
Yeah, which again, this guy used to be a lot more purple. Now he just kind of looks silly. But
Well, now,
and I agree.
now he looks like an actual toy.
And I agree with you actually on that, James. Like it could have been like a new game plus or like a hidden mansion mode of sorts.
Yeah.
Or I guess it would be more like the what was it? What was that one called in what do they call in Super Mario World? Like just an alternate world if you cleared Star Road.
I think that's really all of what. Oh, you mean the special zone?
Yeah, it was like, you know, like if you clear all of Star Road, you get to go see a whole like texture flipped version of Super Mario World.
That's what. I don't think they ever gave a proper name to it, but it's basically just like a fall setting.
Oh, okay.
Like,
And
it, literally
okay.
it literally gives the island fall like textures, and most enemies are replaced with more, you know, Halloween-inspired things. Like the Koopas have their masks, and they.
Right. the
Anyway,
Mario-
we
that's-
should probably talk about the boss real
Oh
quick.
yeah, the boss. Guard armor is super easy because he's the, you know, your first true tutorial boss where you're fighting alongside Donald and Goofy. The arms, feet, and chest can all be targeted separately, but as far as an actual boss goes, the chest is what you need to focus on if you want to defeat it. But
Right.
it will not respawn its health, so now it's just us and the chest plate. And as far as fighting alongside Goofy and Donald, they pretty much act via their AI. We can do almost nothing to control how they act in battle. We can like change like what tendencies they'll have via the pause menu. Like, oh, Donald will be more inclined to heal. Goofy will be more inclined to play risky and attack even at low health. You could do things like that, but more or less, you're just controlling Sora 24/7.
Which is, you know, something kind of an issue I've had with the series since day one. In that I understand why they want to put most of the focus on Sora, but a part of me wouldn't mind if like the game built around having, you know, being around switch between the heroes and utilize their perks however you feel like. And I mean, God bless the likes of Final Fantasy VII Remake for starting to push for something like that nowadays. But for the sake
Yeah.
of Kingdom Hearts, you're stuck with Sora or whoever else is, you know, the hero of the week.
You know
I mean,
what?
here's
Maybe.
how-
You know what?
Right.
Maybe they can fix that for the eventual Kingdom Hearts 1
No. Although,
Don't get no
but
more
hey,
ideas, Hype.
But here, maybe that next big like project would be neat. But for now, we'll just look at this game in its like
Sora,
as an
go
individual.
with them.
So we're gonna officially team up with
Especially
Donald
if
and
you wanna
Goofy
find your friend.
and go searching the world for our friends.
I guess.
I guess if it means anything, to this game's credit, compared to all the other sequels, maybe it's just a byproduct of its own limitations. I feel like this is the most useful Donald and Goofy ever get.
They're definitely this is definitely when they're the most like core and like significant to the plot. But they have one condition: we have to be happy and stop being all mopey. Get to it. Never mind. You can stay off. You can stay on the planet.
Bless their hearts for trying, but 2002 technology was still pretty far behind.
Okay, why
Better
not?
than the
Yeah.
Would you
manga, I
say
agree with that.
better or worse than... I know everyone and their cat makes fun of it, but better or worse than Titus's attempt at laughing?
I'd say this is better. At the very least,
Yeah,
it
this
looks
is
like he made
definitely
the
better.
effort.
And at the very least, this is over in like 2 seconds, whereas the Titus laugh goes on for frickin' ever.
And now
Also,
we got our little circle of evil here.
this is easily one of the coolest things I liked about this game, and unfortunately, it's never really done the same ever again. Like, I love this idea of just a council of all the Disney villains all working together, and spoilers, moving on into the series, they never really reach the same potential. It's only like 2 people.
It's I think part of the problem is also the fact that later sequels, they kind of just treat the Disney villains as like, a byproduct of whatever world you're going through, as opposed to being connected to the entire thing at large. Especially, and that especially holds true for the leader of this council, Little Miss popular Disney villainess herself, Maleficent.
From Sleeping Beauty, who is, I think she deserves it. She's a good, she definitely feels like she would have the most authority out of them. And then all the other councils you already probably recognized. You got,
Just
Ursula,
from their voices alone.
Exactly. And which, that is another, really cool thing that they did for this game, is they did do their darndest to get every single voice actor from those old movies to reprise their roles wherever
Everyone that's
possible.
alive anyway.
Correct, but just... Oh, and also, because we beat... Oh, hang on. Because we beat up Leon successfully, he's all kind of, he's begrudgingly giving us an elixir.
Here you go.
Aww.
Aww.
Good luck.
Trust me, you're gonna need it.
Yeah. This game, so long as you're not okay, I'll admit, when I was super young and first got this game, I could not get very far in the game because I was always very overconfident with how much damage I was dealing. I never really the big strategy is attack and just remember to heal when your HP is low, and remember to conserve, items or magic for when you can learn how to heal yourself normally, and you're pretty much okay. It's just a war of attrition at that point.
The power of fire.
Which is, yeah. Although, hey, it never hurts to use some of your other offensive spells whenever you feel like being flashy.
True. And, so between the two of them, somehow Sora now knows how to use magic, which I just blame on the Keyblade, and we got Dodge Roll, which next to Guard is one of the most useful abilities we can use in the game, because now we can more or less Dark Souls our way through a lot of difficult combat.
I realized we forgot to talk. I realized we completely neglected to talk about this, considering. Oh, hey, Jiminy. I realized we neglected this. The first time we saw Donald and Goofy rummaging through Traverse Town. Why don't we talk about the redesigns they got for Kingdom Hearts?
Oh yeah. The fact that you can at one point in the game, and I'll use these, kind of get some of these stuff around. How to put it? Oh, and there's one other thing that this game does exclusively is there will be things known as Trinity Marks, where throughout the game we'll be able to unlock and use these basically for items and neat little goodies and stuff. But it encourages revisiting and retreading through old locales and stuff. That's really about it. So the first one is called the Trinity Jump. Yay, jump! But yeah, as for the redesigns, we do get to see their classic look only one time in the game, and stay seated. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
But as for the redesigns, I honestly I think it worked pretty well for them. I like that. Between them and Sora, they basically, nailed the red, green, and blue, general colored palette for their whole team. And I'm okay with it. What did you think of it, James?
For what it's worth, I do think the redesigns definitely do make them, mesh a bit better with all the typical Final Fantasy-isms. And sure, it's definitely another case where Nomura had and still has a bit of a zipper fetish. But at the same time, again, it makes them fit well, while also keeping them true to their roots. Again, you pretty much got Goofy, who still has his little hat there, and the green and yellow and whatnot, and you got Donald pretty much in all blues. That being said, though, it does still ring. It's still kind of funny looking back on when Kingdom Hearts was first announced, or at least I definitely remember seeing. I think in one of the earlier Game Informer magazines, when it was first talking about Kingdom Hearts, they showed off like earlier screenshots where you actually did see Donald and Goofy literally fighting in their original looks, and it's like, boy, was that a fucking mood whiplash in and of itself.
Right, which is probably why they went away with that. Like it didn't quite it didn't like scream, hardened warriors or whatever.
It didn't fit with the natural aesthetic the game was going for.
Are you implying
Right.
Goofy's not a hardened warrior in and of himself?
Possibly. As for these gummy ship segments, I'll show them off I'll show them off like a couple times. But the gummy ship in this game is pretty like.
Basic.
It feels like it was just kind of added in there as like another quick idea, but it was never really like fully capitalized on until I would say Kingdom Hearts 2 when they decided to really make it more arcadey.
I mean, it is a cute enough idea, but I can definitely agree that, later games, namely 2, did, find a better way to actually make them, a fun diversion from the usual action RPG elements.
Yeah. Hi, Jordy. What did you guys think about this?
The
The
gummy
gummy
ship?
ships?
Yeah.
It was an interesting concept, though. I didn't really fiddle around with it too much, honestly. What about you, Steve?
Honestly, not too different from your opinion. It exists, and I'm fine with it existing, but I don't really think too much of it.
And then what about the Donald and Goofy design? Sorry, we kind of just glazed over you guys earlier.
That's fine.
I liked it. I like their designs. They're really good.
Like, I'll agree with James in that, like, they do their job well of making them mesh better with the typical Square aesthetic as opposed to, like, their traditional outfits. And, like, on their own, they're perfectly fine, but, yeah, I guess that's about it.
Okay. As for the gummy ship segment itself, not kind of what you're seeing is what you get, and I wish I could say it gets any more interesting beyond this. Like, okay, so there is a huge, key component to this whole thing, which makes it interesting, is that you can customize your gummy ship however you want, which is what with all these diamonds are gummy ship blocks, usually N and a G, and they're all like cutely named after Final Fantasy spells, and honestly, a lot of the gummy ship enemies you find are named after classic Final Fantasy enemies. And there's a whole customization factor, which I will show off at some point, but it's definitely not a like huge thing to worry about. So let's get to the huge highlight of what this game brought to the table for Final Fantasy and action RPG fans everywhere: Disney movies.
Yeah, we literally get to explore worlds based on said Disney movies, starting off with Wonderland.
Yeah.
Wonderland.
Oh, and I guess, and arguably there is a
Goofy.
Goofy. What are you doing?
He's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself.
Boom. Oh,
I don't think that was the original White Rabbit, but
I
it's
think
good.
not.
that was what's
Corey
his
Burton.
name? Oh, I thought it
Corey
was what's his name? Jeff Bennett.
okay, actually, yeah, it might be Jeff Bennett. I only see Corey Burton because, well, get used to hearing Corey's voice all throughout this series.
Well, I'm fine. He is a classic Disney actor still.
Oh, he is. I'm
Or
just
definitely
saying.
an impressionist.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Thank you.
It worked. But yeah, he appears a lot in this series, such as right over there.
Oh yeah, he's the
He's
doorknob.
the doorknob.
Also, I will say, having watched the movie a while back, I just realized Kingdom Hearts really made this poor guy so sleepy. At least comparatively speaking.
He's been so tired with Alice's shenanigans.
Woke me up.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good night.
Fine. So,
Wait, what do we have to do to grow small?
Grow small.
The bottle.
I'll forgive that considering you're only just, 10 years old? No, actually, no, never mind. You're like 14. I
Yeah,
keep
he's
forgetting
14.
Canonical
Use
ages
the-
in this series.
use the Disney contrivances of plot design. I don't know. Anyway, so we're
If you
gonna...
could, there you go.
Read the direction,
Use the
you'll
old
be
drinking.
directed in the right direction.
Ugh, tastes powdery.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is Alice in Wonderland's... one of Alice in Wonderland's major gimmicks is size. However, whenever we're small, that's where all the crazy stuff is happening here, such as these Heartless attacking. And the other issue is that if we try to go in the door now, we're so small we don't make any racket to wake them up.
I mean, maybe Sora could just try to lodge that key straight into his mouth.
You'd think, but he's
Or just
too
yell.
darn polite.
But yeah, no, we're unfortunately going to have to go in a different way.
Right. So this is the what was this room? There's like the variety room or the bazaar room, I think it's called, and it's a lot of silly, wacky things are going to happen in this place as we continue to explore.
Well, it's Wonderland, so.
And the last thing I was going to mention as far as these worlds are concerned so far is that there is actually some open-endedness. I only went to this one because it had a 1-star. This was the level. This is the game's recommended starting level, but you really can explore, for the most part, these levels in any order you want, which is cool. It's a nice idea.
You can go straight to Hollow Bastion right away if you want.
No, not that far.
Between the two options you do get, it probably is the best that you do this one first.
That's fair. So, what are we going to find in Wonderland? Join us in the next part.
Spoiler warnings, we're heading straight to the very end of the movie.
Oh, crap.
Tea?
I forgot popcorn.